Hi, this is Ashley back with another reading, and this reading is an update on Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. A few of you guys have been asking me to do a reading on them for whatever reason, so I'm going to do it today. Before we get into anything, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications, okay? And follow me on Instagram, ashmiracle_, okay? So let's see, what is the energy between Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty? How are they doing? What is the energy between Nicki Minaj and Kenneth, her husband? Okay, so we do have the Ace of Swords. This talks about, working. Nicki Minaj is working, trying to get things together, okay? But we also have the Seven of Wands. This talks about feeling overwhelmed. So right now she does feel overwhelmed with everything going on, probably in regards to Kenneth's case. So that's making her feel overwhelmed. We also have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. That talks about work-home conflict. And like I said before, she doesn't really want to travel without Kenneth, okay? So she doesn't like that, when she goes places and it might be for a couple days, a few hours, she's leaving her baby and her husband behind. She wants them around with her. We also have the Empress card in reverse. This talks about somebody that's kind of codependent on someone. So it does seem like she's very codependent on Kenneth Petty. Okay, she's very codependent on him. We also have the King of Swords in reverse. This talks about somebody that knows how to get his way. So he has the King of Swords energy, which kind of talks about he can easily get his way with Nicki Minaj, okay? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That just means he's a smooth talker. People can associate it with manipulation, but it could just be that he's a smooth talker, a charmer, knows how to get what he wants from Nicki. Okay, so that's the energy between them. It's a lot of conflict in regards to her work and trying to balance family life. Okay, so that's really what's going on between them. Let's see. How does Nicki Minaj really feel about Kenneth, her husband? How does Nicki Minaj really feel about Kenneth, her husband? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. She doesn't fully trust him. The Seven of Swords is here in reverse. It talks about somebody that's kind of doing things underhandedly or very sneaky. She doesn't fully trust Kenneth, okay? So don't let, what is said in the public fool you. She doesn't fully trust him. She thinks that he is hiding something. The Four of Swords, this talks about contemplation, thinking. It's almost like she's kind of strategizing, like, what will I do if, we don't last? Okay, what will I do if we don't last? What would I say? She's contemplating that. Okay. We also have the Queen of Wands. This talks about, she wants to have a successful career and family. She really wants this marriage to work. And then we have the Three of Swords. This talks about there's a lot of negativity surrounding them. The energy I'm picking up on is it has a lot to really do with the case. That's kind of like that dark cloud over them. If they really weren't worried about that, I think their relationship would be a lot better. But that's something that could really make or break the relationship, because depending on how long he has to go for, she may not stick around, okay? The Fool card, she thinks that, he's kind of a person that, likes to play around, spontaneous, does things on the fly, but ultimately she wants him to kind of take this kind of seriously, because she doesn't feel like he's really taking things super seriously in regards to this case, okay? But there is sneaky energy, okay? So she doesn't really fully trust him. How does Kenneth feel about Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj's husband. How does he feel about Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj's husband. How does he feel about her? Kenneth. Okay, so he does feel like the relationship is in imbalance. The Temperance card, this talks about imbalance. The Two of Cups, this talks about disharmony. So that probably has a lot to do with him not feeling equal to Nicki Minaj. Like, you know, he knows that she's the breadwinner, so he doesn't feel equal to Nicki Minaj. Okay, the Sun card, this talks about, you know, seeing her in a positive light. He does see her in a positive light. You know, I do sense that he does love her. But the Five of Pentacles is here in reverse. It talks about, you know, trying to recover from financial poverty. So he's looking at Nicki Minaj as a way for him to kind of be able to start over, start new again. You know, maybe do a business, find multiple streams of income. Okay, so that's how he's looking at Nicki Minaj. I do think that he loves her. He does see her in a positive light. But the Five of Pentacles, this talks about money. This talks about when you had a financial loss and you're trying to recover. The Justice card is here in reverse. He does feel like the general public treats him unfairly. Okay, he does feel like the general public judges him and treats him unfairly. Okay, but he does see her as a positive light. Let's see. Well, Kenneth Petty, what's the energy around, let me see. What's the energy around Kenneth Petty and how he feels about Drake? Let's see that. How does Kenneth Petty feel about Drake? Okay, yeah, he doesn't like that Drake is around. The Nine of Cups is here in reverse. This talks about being dissatisfied. Okay, the Three of Cups, this talks about, you know, working alone. He doesn't want Nicki working with Drake. The Queen of Swords is here in reverse. That talks about bitterness. And the Magician card is here in reverse. Feels like Drake can easily manipulate her, okay? He feels like, you know, she listens to Drake in some ways, and he can easily sway her opinion of certain things. So he doesn't like that Drake is around. Let me see this. Does Kenneth Petty, does he still communicate with any of his exes? Kenneth, does he still communicate with any of his exes? I feel like there is a sense of communication here. The Justice card is here. This talks about truth, okay, when it's upright. And then in reverse, it talks about being treated unfairly. But the Justice card talks about truth. The Tower card, this talks about a transitioning period happening. So there's going to be a transitioning period in Nicki Minaj and Kenneth's relationship. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a switch, a change, okay? We also have the Ace of Cups, which talks about, you know, it's not, the Ace of Cups in reverse kind of represents things going up and down. So it's not constant communication, but there is some sort of communication that he has. The Lovers card, this talks about, you know, they're not in harmony, okay? This talks about disharmony. So when he communicates with his ex, it's not necessarily always good lovey-dovey. It could be going back and forth, arguing, you know, talking about Nicki Minaj or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, he's, you know, sending lovey-dovey texts, but he is communicating with them. Okay, and it has something to do with finances. The Five of Pentacles is here. This talks about financial poverty. So it looks like it has a lot to do with money, the reason why he's communicating with them. And then the World card is here. This talks about life cycles. So this is just a cycle period for Nicki Minaj. Eventually, she will get out of this and move forward into something else. But there's going to be a shift happening in their marriage, okay? So hopefully, you know, everything works out for them in the future. I don't have any other questions right now. I'm trying to think of it. Let me just do one real quick. How does Kenneth Petty feel about Nas? I just want to see that real quick. How does Kenneth Petty feel about Nas? Okay, so the Seven of Swords, he thinks Nas is sneaky. Okay, so the Seven of Swords feels like, you know, Nas is just waiting for him to mess up. That's how he feels. The Four of Swords, it talks about contemplation, thinking. The Three of Swords talks about painful endings, heartbreak. So he feels like the relationship he had with Nicki Minaj, it ended in heartbreak, okay? It hurt her feelings, okay? And then the Fool card, this talks about when you kind of pretend to be innocent in reverse. So he kind of feels like Nas puts on a facade to the general public, but he's not that way behind the scenes. Okay, so that's basically how he feels. Anyway, if you like this reading, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications, and have a great day.